welcome everybody. This is GSL Code A. It is the beginning of a brand new season of Code A anyway. We've already had a little bit of Code S action, but now we're going to take a look at a different part of the tournament, I would guess you would say. Not even a different tournament anymore.
Right.
I'm Doe, of course. With me is Wolf. As always, thank you for joining us tonight here in pretty rainy but nice Seoul, South Korea. It's been a good day.
It's been a good day, I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
it's been pretty awesome.
Great matches lined up. I'm excited about the players that we've got playing today.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the matches we've got. And remember, guys, I just want to mention we're going to have 2 streams today. So when you go to the live button on GOMTV.net, you can select between this match and the other stream where Caldor is going to be casting actually by himself today. So make sure you guys go over there and give him some company. He doesn't feel alone.
Yep. If you have 2 monitors, you can put one on that one on the other one.
Yeah.
If you have just one, you can keep watching us. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, you can just watch us.
You just watch us. It's okay, yeah.
We won't judge you. Caldor won't judge you either.
That's right. He's fine with it. Trust me.
Trust us.
Trust us.
Trust us.
We're the most trustworthy people you've ever met, virtually. All right, so here's how it works, people. We've got a little bit new format this season. Things are a little bit differently. The way I like to describe it is that Code A is not a different tournament anymore. It's just a different part of the season. So we've got the Code A Round 1. That's going to be 48 players. The winner goes on to the round of 32. The loser is out of the GSL. You're gone. Now round 2, that's the round of 32. The winner goes on to round 3. The loser goes to the up and down matches. Now in round 3, the winner goes right into Code S. The loser goes to the up and down matches. So really, it's a lot more, I think, forgiving than before in general.
It's a lot more forgiving in it, and there's a lot more testing of players' skills. So,
I agree.
So it makes it very legitimate. When you fall out, you fell out for a reason. If you get into Code S, you got in for a reason. And we used to call this the round of 48, but that doesn't really make sense because basically there's no round of 24. We have 8 players coming out of Code S to make the 32 players total. So 24 plus 8 will be the next round. It's just round of 32.
Well, the one thing you want to remember, of course, is the 4th place player from the round of 32 Code S groups went to this round of Code A, whereas the 3rd place player goes right into the round 2 of Code A.
Right.
I know it's a little bit confusing, guys. I know it's new, but trust us, it's a better format.
It is a much better format, and as soon as you get used to it, I mean, everyone. It took a while for people to get used to Code A and Code S as well, and everyone's used to it now, and you guys will get used to it quite quickly. So let's take a look at some of our players today. We're going to see Superstar and, there's you guys already saw those, but here's some more of our players. I'll let you go through it, Doa.
Well, you can see right there that some players are already going to be in the round of 32. Those are the players that took 3rd in their Code S groups. And these are just some of the matches we're going to go through. Some of these we will, we're not going to see any of these matches today per se, but
this is our whole long bracket for the round of the first round here. And as you guys can see, some of those round of 32 Group E, for example, 3rd place has not been played yet.
That's
that is just a placeholder that's going to take place, in the coming weeks. And when that player loses, gets 3rd place, he'll drop into that spot.
Yeah, we need to find out who is going to be placed where after the Code S round of 32 groups.
There is
kind of what it all depends on.
OGS Layla is actually OGS the STC. He changed his ID recently. I saw that today and I was like, huh. But here's today's matches. We're going to have Keen versus Revival, Hero versus Crazy Moving, Superstar, and Brown, and lastly Dream and Boxer. That's the matches that are going to be on our stream. So that's what you're going to be seeing if you like Doe and Wolf and you like watching this particular stream. But like we said, watch both. Put them on both streams. And here are the matches that Caldor will be casting in Gangnam. It is Yu-Gi-Oh! Versus Minsuk, ASD versus Guinea Pig, Curious versus the STC or Layla, and Top versus Parting.
Yeah, some interesting players that we'll see today. I'm particularly interested in Minsuk just because he's the player that actually ended up taking out Jinro in that very, very close series of the Code A qualifiers. So we'll see what goes on with that. Nest T has actually been following this kid around like a mother penguin. You know, he's basically got him like huddled under his wings and everything. So I really think that Nest T is like really honestly taking this guy on as his apprentice now.
Yeah, man.
And
he's like the new Lucera.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, Lucera's kind of coming to his own. And, there can be only 2, one master and one apprentice. So we know who the master is.
What does that mean? What does that mean? I don't know what it means.
You don't even know?
No, I know what that means.
Okay, I was about to... I was about to be shocked, actually.
I just mean, what does that mean for Lucera?
Oh, for Lucera, it just means that he's ready to find his own apprentice. You know?
He's also going to become a Sith.
He looks at Nest T and he's like, So I am a Jedi, and Nesty's like, oh. Anyway, let's get on to this match here. It's going to be MVP Keen. This guy, you know, he was in Code S. He got knocked out pretty easily.
It's just hard to say whether or not he's top 32.
I don't know if he's top 32 material.
Yeah.
That's the question.
That's always kind of the question on everyone's mind. Is Keen really top 32 material or not? He's been a little bit inconsistent in the past few months, and some people say yes, some people say no. Well, this season the answer is no. He is not in top 32.
Some people argue very vehemently about it.
Yes, some people do actually sit around the dinner table and discuss this. Now here is Revival, a very strong Zerg player. He actually performed pretty well in some tournaments. Some tournaments he's not. He did quite well in the Super Tournament. That was his best GSL showing so far.
Yep.
He's done pretty well in the Team League as well.
We were over at the TSL house the other day, saw this guy practicing. I talked to Coach Lee before the broadcast here today, as I often do, and he said that TSL Heart was actually working closely with Revival to develop strategies to beat Keen, and he also said that really the entire TSL team had been helping this kid out, you know, helping him plan for this match.
He seemed to feel that Revival could not be better prepared for this match.
Well, it's really cool to see things like that. I mean, other teams, you know, everyone's kind of on their own, but TSL is like a true team, you know. Those guys really like to work together.
Oh, notice that Handsome Nerd patch there.
Yeah.
Of course, TSL is now sponsored by thehandsomernerd.com.
Yeah.
So just something of note there, I like to try to mention when sponsors change. Now here are our maps: Calm Before the Storm, Antigua Shipyard, and Tal'Darim Altar. If it requires a third game,
we'll see. Calm Before the Storm, it's our newest map in the GSL. It's kind of like a different sort of crevasse, basically. You guys will see it soon. The loading screen has begun to do its thing, so we are going to move into the game. Game 1 between MVP Keen and TSL Revival here at the GSL Code A Round 1 with Doe and Wolf. Let's get in the game.
Plan.
11th. Mixed in with Jester.
818-818-18.
Get up.
Wow. Well,
that intro finally got fully fleshed out. We were like,
what's going on? It's like, oh, it's just a break in this dubstep mix. All right, well, that's cool. Up in the top right part of the map from the team MVP, he is pretty cool. In fact, some might say he's pretty...
MVP Keen.
MVP Keen.
Some might say that.
Some might say the way I inflected the word pretty sound like people just might say it's pretty. I don't know.
Some people might say he's pretty.
Ladies, you can tweet at me, GoSudo. Tweet it at ProxyWolf. Tell us if you think MVP Keen is pretty. And down at the bottom right, we have
TSL Revival.
Oh man!
Wow. Well, Kerrigan is...
That was definitely sounded like a revival. I mean, that sounded like someone that just came back to life said that, man.
They're like, let me sleep. I just came back to life.
Well, you know what's actually a little bit unusual about what Keen is doing here right at the start is that he's not going for a Command Center first. Almost every player right now is going Command Center first on this map because, like you mentioned, it's almost exactly like Crevasse. It's a very safe backdoor expansion with 2 gases and 8 mineral patches. It's a very standard expansion right there at the back of his base he can take for free.
Well, one thing you'll notice about all the GSL maps now is that every expansion has a normal amount of mineral patches and gas, and there's no more golds anywhere on any of the maps in the GSL.
Very true.
Yep.
And I like that. I like it too. For a time, it was kind of cool to see how the gold bases and how the smaller mineral patches and 1 gas expansions played out, but now we've been there, done that, and I think that it's shaping up to be a really good map pool.
Yeah, I've just never been a fan of gold bases in general, even though I played Terran. But I'm kind of glad to see him go, actually. Everyone kind of has their own opinion here, but I think it produces better games overall. I think, there's not as much randomness in it without the gold bases, so that's good.
Indeed, and a drone and an SCV meet in the middle of the map, both incorrectly scouting their opponent's location.
Well, maybe they'll swap some information and be like, well, he wasn't there, and the drone's like, oh, thanks for saving me some time, man.
SCV hides a command center in plain sight in front of the Overlord.
He does.
Back there at that expansion. It's going to be a 1 barracks expand for Keen.
Yep. Now, I'm wondering if Keen is going to do this style that we've seen nearly every Terran do lately, was just the what I like to call the SC style TVZ, where you just make a ton of Marines, not a lot of tanks, and just be really aggressive with it.
Sometimes you can see
very
Terrans
popular lately.
go with 6 barracks, even with add-ons, and just crank out Marines, Mars, and keep rallying them across the map. We've seen Pulp do that a lot recently. It's
We've
kind
seen
of an
everybody
old
do it a
school.
lot,
Yeah, it's kind of an old school strategy, but it's making a comeback right now.
Well, we've even seen quite a few Terran players go for the really old school, if you will, strategy that Marine King liked to do, which is just make Marines and medevacs and just micro.
Very true.
Yeah, which is a little bit odd to see things kind of go back that way, but that's kind of how these games are at the pro level. They are a bit cyclical, you know, they do go around and around like that.
Yeah, I really like, that's one of my favorite things about Starcraft 2 and all real-time strategy games that are played with good balance and at a high level. All real-time strategy games like this just have kind of trends that circle around and return.
Yeah.
Now, interestingly, Revival, these Zerglings are going to get caught here.
Was it worth it, Zerglings?
Revival has done
Ask
something
yourself.
interesting and taken his natural outside of his base rather than taking the backdoor expansion. And I think that's a good choice, given that that's fairly safe and normal to do anyways.
Yeah, well,
but now we can kind of get a free third.
It's perfectly okay to do that. I mean, going back to talking about Crevasse again, it was a little bit dangerous to take your expansion down on the low ground, especially for Zerg. It was very wide open, but on this version of this map, on Calm Before the Storm, it's actually not wide open at all. It's fairly defendable.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see Keen follow this up with Reactor Hellions. He's going to actually lose a few Marines here.
This is a lot of rings, links that is.
Revival looks like he's going to do a high aggression, high economy Baneling aggression here.
Or even a low
economy
Baneling aggression, actually.
He does not actually have any scouting information of this.
This is really interesting. I'm a bit surprised. Revival is a bit crazy sometimes. He does like to get aggressive.
Man, that bunker is nowhere near ready.
And the Hellions are going to pop out right away. Are they going to kill any Banelings? No way. And TSL Revival gets in the base, and he is going to do some damage. Oh, the SCVs. Oh, when are people going to start manually detonating their Banelings? Well, when?
Oh, a lot of SCVs going down here. The worker count fairly evened up now. 18 drones to 15 SCVs. He's got to continue microing his Hellions here. It looks like he actually will hold this.
Well, Keen is losing so many SCVs, it's not going to matter. I mean, I think the game is
I don't know. He's rewalled, man. He's rewalled his rewalled off his ramp, and also he's got a third command center finishing here.
Yeah, I suppose. Where did he hide some of those SCVs?
He's got some of the backdoor expansion.
Oh, yeah.
So right now it's 18 workers for Revival to 11 SCVs for Keen, and he's got a third orbital on the way, and Revival has just made, he's got 26 Zerglings now that he can't really use.
He's making drones now. I suppose he can keep map control, but...
He's definitely ahead. Revival is definitely ahead at this point, but Keen is not out of it yet.
Yeah.
Being able to drop 3 mules at a time is definitely going to make up for that deficit in worker count, at least for now.
Now, there should be enough Lings out there to handle the Hellions as well, if they're positioned properly. But we'll see. Spinecrawler's not done, and you know what? Keen might be able to just walk right into the base.
Yeah, he's got to be careful about these Zerglings, though. Nice micro, just killing a drone, then getting back, get a damage to the spine a little bit. He knows with that many Zerglings, that's all he was kind of trying to find out here. I don't think he was really trying to do damage. He's like, well, how many Zerglings did you follow up with this? Did you drone up heavily or not?
I'll tell you what he is following it up with, Wolf. It's a Roach Warren, and he is going to be able to put a lot of pressure on Keen with this, because Keen is just not going to be able to make enough units to really, handle this.
Yeah, he's only got 1 barracks right now. He's starting Stim. He's got a tech up on. He's not making any Marauders. Does not have a bunker up
either. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's definitely not going to be able to take that command center right now on the low ground. It's just not going to be something that he can do. He will, however, know about the Roaches for a long time with those Hellions, and in fact, right now, Revival is making Banelings defensively because he's a little bit nervous. He's not actually sending any Roaches or producing any right now. Second factory going down, or excuse me, Tech Lab going down the factory. As a starport starts here for Keen as he adds more barracks.
Yep, well, the Hellions are doing a good job of kind of containing Revival for the moment, but we'll have to see, how well that goes. I mean, keep in mind, Revival can take his third very easily because it is that backdoor sort of protected third base.
That's what I like. And, double engineering base going down here for Keen. He knows he's going to really power up and have a lot of economy as soon as he can take that third base. 4 Roaches in production.
Well, we probably are going to see that style that we were talking about a little bit earlier, where he's just going to make a lot of Marines, a couple siege tanks, but just mostly Marines and positioning in micro to win the game. Some drops as well, of course.
And similarly, also what we were talking about is just getting the reactor medevacs out, and still no tech lab on that factory, no siege tanks out whatsoever.
Yeah, he may not even make that Siege tanks. That's what I was looking for. Yeah. That's the unit I was going to talk about, Wolf.
He's getting that tech lab now in that factory, but yeah, it's a little bit later than you might expect. And these Hellions are still controlling the map. Could not prevent that Zergling from coming up the ramp, though, to see what's going on, which is not a lot. He can't see very much from this. The 4 roaches that were produced earlier are going to be slowed down by these Hellions.
Oh, and Keen is going to be pushed across the map here. Oh, the Hellions.
Oh, the Hellions not hiding in the right place there.
No, not really. SCV's coming off the line as well. Just to kind of help defend. That is a lot of Banelings.
That is a lot of Banelings. 15 Banelings, in fact, being morphed right now. He's going to want to add some wall-offs here. It looks like he decides he doesn't have enough time. He's not doing that.
Yeah, you know, Revival's always been one of those Zergs that tries these crazy things from time to time. Is he going to lose too many Banelings coming up the ramp, though? The attrition rate is going to be pretty high, but here they come.
Stim is finished. Oh, not very good micro from Keen at all. SCV's coming here. He's going to need to target down these Banelings before they hit the SCVs.
And they do hit the SCVs anyway. I think this is going to be a lot of damage that Keen's going to take. I don't know if this is going to be the end of the game.
I actually don't. I don't think we could have seen any worse micro from Keen in this case.
Well, he didn't leave him bunched up right at the ramp. He moved him back a little ways before they died.
But let me tell you, right now the worker count is 34 drones with 31 SCVs. Revival is still making Zerglings. He's starting a lair right now. He does not have a 3rd hatchery. Whereas Keen still has 3 command centers. He's about to have combat shields and +1/1 upgrades on his Marines.
Well,
it was a pretty successful attack, but Keen is still holding pretty strong at this point. He's got siege mode on the way, and he's still got a decent army count.
Well, this almost reminds me a little bit of kind of a opposite TVZ, you know, where usually we see Terran moving out at these timings and losing their army, but then still being okay. Now we're seeing Zerg move out, lose their army, but still, you know, be okay, actually. So it's weird. It's been a weird week for games here.
It has. Look at that, man. Workers killed 40 workers killed for Revival, but yet he's still managing to stay about even. 38 SCVs to 44 drones.
Well, that just shows how good Keen is at making workers. I mean, he's not
he doesn't
missing
skip a beat, man. Yeah. We're like that. We're like on the same page.
I know.
With this,
we're on the same beat.
We're on the same beat. We're at the same rhythm.
All right. Yes. It works.
3rd hatchery finally going down here for Revival. Baneling speed, Roach speed starting. He does have an evolution chamber as well, but Keen's got 1/1 upgrades on these Marines.
Yep. Oh, that Overlord has had better days. And a lot of Banelings coming in right now for Revival.
13, in fact.
And he does need to be very careful about defending any sort of pushes from Keen right now. I mean, Keen is certainly behind a bit, but he's not out, you know, by any stretch. So we'll have to see. It's going to be dangerous coming on the creep here. Big stim from Keen, but
huge stim there, and he decided he could not win. He's only sent a small force here. Most of his units are still back at home.
He's actually going to drop that natural expansion.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. The Banelings are already prepared, though.
Yeah, Revival knows it.
He knows it.
Not going to work.
Going for an evolution or excuse me, an infestation pit right now.
Marines are like, don't drop us onto the roaches and Zerglings, please. Thank you. Thank you. Infestation pit on the way. That's going to help quite a bit.
He is droning like a madman right now. He keeps making rounds of about 7 drones. He's still ahead of Keen just slightly in drones right now, but he's just now gotten that 3rd base up.
You know, the thing, though, that Keen really has going for him right now is the upgrades.
Yeah, he's definitely right now.
Yeah, he's definitely got a good upgrade advantage, and that's going to come in very, very handy. Marines are pretty good when they get to be 3-3. They've got
very true, and you know, right now only +1 Carapace on the way for Revival. He has no other upgrades. 2 Infestors on the way, Pathogen Glands starting as well. 2 Medevacs still being cranked out at a time for Revival. He's got a pretty healthy Marine count right now. He's actually going to push with his tanks now. This is a really good time. He's going to hit really before the Infestors are ready.
Yeah, I think they may pop out just in time for this, but it's going to be cutting it pretty close here. It's a bit of an odd timing, though, because he's not going to be getting there around like when 2-2 finishes or anything like that. So I don't know. I mean, this is kind of, it feels like one of those timings where Terran's just like, oh, I need to do some damage, or the Zerg is just going to run away with the game, you know? And
yeah, this is not a normal timing by any means. He knows I've got a lot of units right now. He does not have any real answer for my siege tanks. I'm going to move up carefully. Knows he's putting his tanks in front.
I like it.
Because he knows there's no mutas out. He knows he can do this with his tanks and pull his Marines behind afterwards.
Yep. And he is just kind of going to let Revival come to him. He might want to drop on the high ground as well. Yeah, there goes the medevac right now.
Really smart. Stimming just a few Marines forward to start picking away at this Queen.
Oh, nice.
Oh, got the Queen. And remember, he's got a huge upgrade lead here.
Yeah. And that drop didn't do a whole lot because of the roaches there, but Keen still threatening
The
quite a bit.
checkmate point is if Keen can get one more tank firing at the ramp, he's already got one tank that can hit the ramp. He gets a sec. Hold that thought. Here they
here
come.
we go. Is it going to be enough? I don't know.
It doesn't look like it, man.
I don't know,
think Keen is going to be just fine here as the Banelings evaporate. Too many. GG.
Wow, and TSL Revival going from some pretty heavy aggression early on, just could not make it. His tech was held back too much, and Keen holding impressively that game, I gotta say.
Yeah, absolutely impressed
good.
with Keen. He made that super fast third command center, was still able to hold off the aggression. And Revival, you know, we talked a little about this. He had planned something out. He probably worked with his teammate Hart. His name escaped me there for a second. I keep wanting to say worked with Live, but Hart. He worked with Hart on this strategy, and I'm sure they practiced on this map several times. Had him do command center first, one command center, after barracks, one barracks command center, and he probably had a lot of success with this timing. And these positions was actually pretty good positions for him. And Keen didn't even micro very well in that case, but he just had so many SCVs. Because he had that third command center that after he was able to re-wall, like re-walling was the key because his opponent made like 30 more Zerglings that were never really able to participate.
Well, Revival had him like right on the edge there a lot of times. I mean, he had enough Zerglings on the way that he would have gotten in and ended the game right there. So yeah, you're right. I think re-walling that off really quickly definitely helped quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I was sitting there going, well, he lost a lot of units. He's only got like 4 Hellions, and there's how many Zerglings on the map? Like 35? I'm like, I don't know.
That game wasn't supposed to be that long. You know, Revival was supposed to kill him. It was an all-in that he had planned. Didn't work, and whenever you have to try to turn your all-in into like sort of a macro game, it usually doesn't work very well. You saw he was so far behind in tech, didn't have enough drones.
Well, that timing attack from Keen at the end of the game, he was like, you don't have mutas.
Yeah, he's like, you actually don't have any answer for my siege tanks.
So he's just
right
like,
now.
I'm just going to siege up and kill you. I have better upgrades and I know it. He had 1-1, and +1 Carapace was finishing as that engagement was happening. Not good. You saw how fast those Banelings evaporated. Pretty fast.
Yeah, pretty interesting game there. Well, we are going to go into game 2. It's going to be Antigua Shipyard. A little bit more normal of the map. You know, we were talking to Bolt the other day, TSL Bolt, and he was saying that he felt that this map is Zerg favored with most spawns. So we'll see if that comes true. Is Keen going to be able to close out and move on, try to get back into Code S, or is TSL Revival going to knock him out of the GSL? Let's find out, guys. This is Code A.